talked to him, tried to build rapport. It was very, very hard to talk to him. He didn't want me there. He didn't want any help. Nobody cared about him.
Last fall, UHP Trooper Kris Cope found himself trying to prevent a man from jumping to his death off a bridge over I-80. A split-second decision, along with another trooper, most likely saved that man's life. Tonight in our Behind the Badge report, we learn more about that incident, and we find out why Trooper Cope loves to serve and protect.
He looked at us, and I could see in his eyes that he was dedicated to jump, and he just kind of let go of the overpass. I was able to grab his left wrist, and Moreno grabbed his right wrist. When we had South Salt Lake, 3 or 4 different firefighters from their crew come and just tackle this guy, and we pulled him eventually over the overpass, and we were able to get him some mental health, which was deeply needed.
Trooper Kris Cope had just saved a man from jumping off a bridge over I-80, but he wasn't done showing the man he truly cared.
I went up to the hospital with him, and he was just very quiet. He was very emotional. He thanked me for saving his life.
Trooper Cope joined UHP in 2012. He began patrolling the highways and state roads after working as a reserve officer for West Bountiful PD, and after 6 years as an EMT and working in emergency rooms. The 30-year-old says becoming a trooper just felt like a natural progression.
In addition to plug-in bullet wounds in the ER or responding to that shooting on an ambulance, I wanted to be there to protect those and help protect those before it even happened.
Trooper Cope says serving and protecting is a real thing and the reason he loves his job.
For me, it's just caring about more people than myself.
He knows a lot of people think troopers are just looking for lawbreakers, but he says that's not how troopers see their work.
Ultimately, our goal is to make sure everybody gets home safe every single day.
And he says that's especially true after a tragedy.
For me, it's helping people get back up to where they want to be after something devastating happens to them.
Trooper Cope says he also loves law enforcement because it's never the same.
Each day is different, which I enjoy. I go to work not knowing what I'm going to do.
Sometimes it's as easy as making a driver slow down. In other times, it's as intense as tracking down a gunman.
I saw this gentleman who had a bullet wound entrance to his head, both entrance and exit, and he was crawling in the street.
A few years ago, we saw a man who'd been shot on a road in Salt Lake City and a man with a gun running away.
I made the decision to go after the gentleman who had pulled the trigger. I identify myself as an officer to drop his weapon, and he turns around and starts running through this parking lot full of cars. And I can see that he still has a gun in his right hand.
He says he lost the gunman, but quickly called for help.
I got containment set up with the helicopter. I called other troopers. Salt Lake City was en route.
And shortly thereafter, he got his man.
We did find him. I wasn't the one who arrested him, but we did find him.
And the update on that gunman is he is in the state prison, going to be there for until 2024. A couple more things about Trooper Cope. He's a volunteer firefighter in addition to everything he does, and he's about to start training to be a tactical flight officer on the DPS helicopter team. Now, if you'd like to nominate an officer, EMT, or firefighter to be featured in our Behind the Badge series, just go to goodforutah.com/badge.